blues. This is the mucilage that ties, you might say, jazz and folk music together, and we have two titans of the blues. This is a cliche, but true. Here, then, Brownie McGhee and Sonny Terry.
My baby don't change. Well, she don't turn the lock on the door. Well, she don't change. Yeah, she don't turn the lock on the door. Well, she said, Sonny Terry, that key you got, woo, won't fit that lock no more. You know, I went home last night about 10:30. I tried to get the key in the lock, and I couldn't get it in, 'cause she done changed. Well, she done changed the lock on the door. Well, she said, that key you got, Sonny Terry, yes, won't fit that lock no more. Well, you know, I might take a little slow walk around to my window, peep in and see what can I see. I walked round to my window to see what I could see. You know, she was kissing my best friend, and I know it won't me, 'cause she done changed. Well, she done changed the lock on the door. Well, she said, that key you got, Sonny, won't fit that long no more. You know, I called my baby up. Honey, what you want me to bring? You know she whistleblowing easy. Don't bring a doggone thing, 'cause I done changed. Yes, I done changed that lock on the door. Well, she said, that key you got, Sonny, yes, won't fit that lock no more. Woo!
Oh, God, that was July 1959. Brownie McGhee and Sonny Terry. It was the Newport Folk Fest. I remember how, I can't forget it. It was that film introducing two great blues artists who are now in the studio this morning. They opened last night at the Quiet Night, and they'll be there for 2 weeks. And I remember the notes, even writing, with the death of Big Bill, Brownie McGhee and Sonny Terry are just about the richest interpreters of black blues, individual and as a team. Brownie truly sings it himself, and so doing evokes alive images of others who sang to themselves: Bill, Lead Belly, Leroy Carr, Big Maceo, Richard M. Jones. And all the wondrous fraternity of blues artists, always no contest when the question arises, who is the best blues harmonica player in the world? Sonny Terry, of course. As he whoops and hollers and blows in, out through his mouth harp, we see the open field, the escape, the chase. We hear the blues, at once mournful and exhilarating. Remember writing that 11 years ago.
That's right.
And oh, how timely it is, how contemporary, truthful today.
Tom, go, Kenny.
Yeah, I got that album too.
11 years ago.
And now, in all these 11 years, so much has happened to blues.
11 years older.
11 years old, so only the young now have finally, in many cases, finally discovered it. And so where do we pick up from now? We think naturally of Bill. Later on, we'll play the voice of Bill, who was a close friend to all three of us, you know.
I remember, Stutz, when we were, that was the year before that we went to the festival. It was 58. We had that talk and we were discussing the blues, and I made a statement. And Bill and I got into a big discussion. I remember it so much. I says, I never had the blues, and Bill didn't wait till I finished. Man, you tell me you didn't have the blues? I says, why should I have them? I was born with the blues. I just recorded that, you know, for when Bill was doing his last session, you know.
Yeah.
I was born with the blues. And I always remember the session, and we did themes. Remember we did themes on that, and Sonny and I have followed that down through the years since that Bill and I did that. We've been following themes when we do put on a coffee house show.
Yeah. What's a song that comes to your mind? Thinking about Bill, yourself, and of course I'm thinking of the scores of songs and blues you both know and play so remarkably. You name it. I'll just go along for the ride here.
Let's do one of Bill's in F that Bill wrote, and we've had the pleasure of recording it 5 times, and I still love it, and I'm going to do it again. I got the key to the house.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Well, Big Bill wrote that, man. That's a good one.
Yeah. Let's try down there.
Got your cover.
I got the key to the highway. Bill, down, I'm bound to go. Gonna leave here running because walking is most too slow. Woo! I'm going back to the border. Go ahead, man. Where I'm better known. Well, you ain't doing nothing but driving a good man away from home. Woo! Now give me one more kiss, darling. Just before I go. If I leave this time, I may not come back no more. Woo! Shows the moon, peeps all the mountains. Go ahead, man. I'll be on my way. Gonna roam these highways. Woo! Until the break of day. I woke up this morning, put on my highway shoes. Didn't take me very long till I had those old highway blues. What'd you do, Brownie? I walked out on the highway. That old Greyhound bus had gone. Stunned about the one that I love, and I sure God went walking on. Woo! Walk it down now. Walk it right, walk it right. So long, people. Soon I will say goodbye. Oh yeah, now. I'm on roam these highways until the day I die. Woo! Woo!
Oh, of course, in listening, this is therapy, of course, for troubled times. Always more so than ever. Sonny Terry, Brownie McGhee. That was Bill's song, and of course, Bill loved it. I remember when Bill was there, and when you played it and he sang, and he was always, Bill was also directing, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
He was great.
He was giving the orders. See, now, I remember when there was one, it was during Bill's last session, both Brownie and Sonny were here offering the music of the original production of Tennessee Williams' Cat on the Hot Tin Roof, and you came into the studio.
That's right.
Bill knew that he was dying, and he said, I want the blues to be remembered, and he wanted Sonny Terry and Brownie McGhee to be there with him. But there was also the humor. Even then, he was saying, Sonny was playing Crow Jane.
That's right.
And then Bill was starting to talk. What do you know about Crow Jane? He knew Crow Jane. Remember that?
That's right.
How did Crow Jane...
Crow Jane?
Yeah, how did that come to be? When did you first hear Crow Jane?
I heard Crow Jane as a little kid, about 18 or 19 years old,
This was where, Sonny?
That's in Durham, North Carolina.
In Durham, yeah.
Yeah.
But when you first picked up on the harmonica, and you played all variety of harmonicas, all shapes and forms, when did you first pick up on it?
When I first started playing, you mean when I first started?
Yeah.
Oh, I started when I was a little kid, about 7, 8, 9 years old. I've been liking the harp ever since I was about 5 years old, I'll never forget when my father had me town. We lived in the country, you know, stuff. So I was a guy there to call him, what this guy's name? Sam. Boy, he was playing real hard and didn't have his hand on it, just playing it, you know. So I fell in love with the harmonica. I told my father, I said, buy me one of them things. He said, what you got to do if you can't play it? I said, you buy me one, maybe I'll learn one day. So from that on, I've been loving harmonica.
You know, it's funny, you're playing, of course, self-taught.
Yeah.
Remember Larry Adler was saying the greatest harmonica player in the world? Well, he says, well, the obvious choice, he says, Sonny Terry.
Yeah, no, I was one of his guests down to the village gig once. He had me come down there, you know, and he told me, he said, Sonny, play me a piece. So I pull out this little harmonica, you know. He got one of them long ones, you know. I pull out this little small one. He said, well, you can't do it with that. And I played him a piece. He said, I want to know how in the devil you getting out that little and I get out this big one.
Yeah, how do you? Could you demonstrate to me? How do you?
I don't like the large one. See, the one got the button on it, you know. See, I do a whole lot of tricks with my hand, you know. So people wonder, say, how you make the thing change your hand? Huh? See, I hold it tight with my lips and blow at the same time and hit it with my hand, and that make the notes change.
Yeah, we should point out that Sonny Terry has a plain, ordinary little harmonica. That's
right.
Plain, it's not one of these chromatic. It's just a plain, little ordinary.
Back in 33 and 34, you get them for 25 and 50 cents. Now they're $4. $3.50, $4.
Cost of living.
Oh, yeah.
Well, how do you, just before you say do Crow Jane, because Bill would have said, oh, well, let him do Crow Jane, let him do Crow Jane. But before you...
Yeah, he asked me, say, what you know about Crow Jane? I said, I know a little about Crow Jane, too.
He said he knew her before you did.
Maybe he did, because he's a little older than I was.
Could you sort of demonstrate something, how, you know, the blowing and also the vocal sound as well as playing? Could you sort of...
But see, what I do, I do something, I call this my own course. Nobody else don't do it. I can play it and blow it and sing all the same time, you know. See, it's when on my singing, my harp, it start playing it now, but it's going so fast, you can't tell it, you know. So, you know, just think on the harp, when I'm singing, the harp's still going too.
Right.
So that's my trick.
Yeah.
So that they call it now, I'm doing my thing.
Yeah, doing your thing. They say, now, you've been doing your thing.
A long time, yeah.
Now I know it's a trick. That's the first time I ever heard him say it was a trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's a trick.
It's a trick.
See, well, it's a good trick, though. Ain't nobody else doing it. Can't do it.
Why don't you try that trick once more?
Oh, do it again?
Yeah.
How about me doing that one what Bill told me to do? What he like, Crow Jane?
Yeah.
Do it?
Yeah.
Okay, River. Crow Jane, what make you hold your head so high? Well, you realize, honey, you're gonna lay down and down. If you see me coming down, oh, put your man down. Well, I ain't no stranger, no son, been here before. Crow Jane, what make you hold your head so high? Oh, you realize, honey, you gonna lay down and down. Well, I love you, Crow Jane. Well, I tell you what I do. You's a good little girl, but honey, you won't be true. Crow Jane, what to make you hold your head so high? You realize, honey, you're gonna lay down and down. Woo! I'm gonna sing this verse. Well, I ain't gonna sing no more. Called me in a book down about a go. I'm coming, Crow Jane.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking, Sonny Terry, later on, because we think about Durham, North Carolina, I remember you talking about your childhood and hearing the sounds of the locomotive later on, perhaps in the fox hunt, you know. Brownie, I forgot, was it Nashville? No, where
Knoxville.
Knoxville it was, Knoxville. I remember that.
I was born between a river, a highway, and a railroad track.
Yeah.
I went back to see. They've torn my birthplace down. A place that was called the Old Ark, near the Southern Railroad, Highway number 11, in the Tennessee River.
I suppose as you think back of your childhood in that place, near the railroad sounds, the river, I suppose here too songs. Do you recall one of the early blues that you remember as a small child or later on that you sang and played because of the region where you were?
Highway and the river. Highway and a river and a railroad track. Any of these trains will take me back to Tennessee. To Tennessee, dear old land where I long to be. Highway and a river and a railroad track. And these roads will take me back to Tennessee. Tennessee, to Tennessee, dear old Tennessee. Highway and a river and a railroad track will take me back to Tennessee.
That was an early one. And then, of course, I think, it's hard for me to pick out any one of the songs that...
Well, Red River was something on the order of Key to the Highway and...
Sister to Crow James.
Crow James. But I learned it another way, and I think I remember playing it once, the way my daddy played it. He never played it with the turn in it like that. And he always give me the third degree about something. You got Crow James and Red River mixed up. But it seemed to be the same chord progressions after I got a little older. But he always played it like this. Second piece I ever learned. Which way, does that blood red river run? Which way, does that blood red river run? Run from my back window straight to the rising sun. I hate to see that rising sun go down. Yes, yes. I hate to see that rising sun go down. Why, boy? Make me feel just like I'm on my last go round. Run into the camp, tell my brother Bill. Said run into the camps, tell my brother Bill. Well, the one he's loving, sure God gonna get him killed. When they worked on the levee camp, my daddy was a levee worker. I used to go out and watch him load wheelers. He used to sing this when he come home and eat. Well, the dumper told the loader, bring him 6 loads of clay. Dumper told the loader, bring him 6 loads of clay. Why? Said blood red river, sure God run away. Says I heard a mighty rumbling, then I looked around. What was all that noise, boy? I heard a mighty rumbling, then I looked around. Was a northern and a southern, time that old depot down. Which way, does that blood red river run? Which way, does that blood red river run? Run from my back window, straight to the rising sun. Make the guitar talk about it.
Crying like a baby, wailing like a man. I think, Brownie and Sonny, I think these songs, of course, we have to, again, talk to the young sometimes, say that the blues come out of actual experience, of course, You see, your father worked the levee camp, and, of course, many of the songs came out of the actual
most of the songs I heard him do, that's one of the favorites I heard him do, and Betty and Dupree and Quite Not Low, John Henry, and a lot of the songs, most of his songs didn't ever rhyme, but I realized what he was talking about then.
As you were singing, it occurred, Sonny and Brownie, I'm thinking, as you playing that blues, in a way, W.C. Handy's St. Louis Blues might have been derived from a song like this.
Well, that's what my father said. He said that it wasn't no original St. Louis Blues because it was picked up. Each man that come in always added a verse because they would sing while they worked. And when they were working, it was pretty hard work. When a man's back is dragging the ground when you're loading the wheelers, when you get up sometimes your back would be bleeding because you had to go up, and sometimes the wheeler would go too low. It'd take a pretty strong man to load a wheel with snatch team. And my father come from the loading to snatch team, and that was pretty hard work.
And you load that thing sometimes you turn somerset. Run your back.
It's singing the blues in a way to survive the day. Anyway. But so also there's something else you said, that the song, you take an established blues, a popular one, like saying it was derived from some. This is always a story of the blues, isn't it? Someone is always, some other person is doing it on the basis of other person's work. It's a continuous strain, isn't it?
Never has an end.
Yeah, never has an end.
Somebody always picks up on it because it relates to somebody's life or something that's happened in their life, and they'll add a little to it, and it becomes part of them.
I'm thinking, of Sonny Terry's listening and hearing, too, as well. Carolina, Durham, North Carolina. I suppose there was also a train stop. Was that also a roundhouse? Train, you'd hear the trains, of course, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And so you'd hear the train. You'd hear that whistle. You'd hear the locomotive.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you'd take that harmonica.
Oh, when I hear the whistle blowing, so I just take my harmonica, try it out. Keep it messing around until I find something to fit in there, So I just made a song out and called it Locomotive.
How would that, this is the train, we're on the train. A train, of course, is always a big
Now, this is the old locomotive train way back, So some of these kids now wouldn't even know what a locomotive is, but
we got diesels nowadays.
We got the diesel.
Yeah, they don't carry passengers anymore either.
But I want to let them know where it started from. The old train will start like this, That's the whistle blowing, we're getting ready to go, The train getting ready to start, See, when they do like that, the wheel's slipping, So when the motor going up too fast, the wheel slips, So now you just keep doing that till the wheels catch a hold, and here you go. About to come to a cross, and they got to blow the whistle, About to come to another station, now it's slowing up. Pulling in the shed now.
This train is bound for glory.
That's right.
This train don't carry no gamblers, this train. That's beautiful, the recreation of that sound. We're talking, of course, two great blues artists, Brownie McGhee and Sonny Terry. And if ever there were the matter of continuity in art, in music, and in history, it's in the artistry of my two guests. The train, Sonny, I suppose, and Brownie, the train has always been in the past, the vehicle, wasn't it? The symbol and the actual thing, in black people going north and going from one job to another trying to survive the train.
Yeah, it always left a longing in your heart. Somebody was on it. If it was even a freight train, you know, well, you can realize, and I have stood and watched so many guys get on, and the technique of hoboing, and then, you know, as far as you could see the train, the smoke rolling back, the cinders from the old smokestack hitting on you, and you'd stand there and watching teardrops rolling down. Don't know whether they're going to get back or not. And then the whistle that Sonny was just demonstrating there, the further it got away, the mournful whistle sound, the distance and the echo would ring, and the firemen could hear him dinging the bell, ding dong, wow. And it had every stop that have a different thing going, wow, wow. Train stops, cow stops, road crossings, bridges. It's going to give all different signals for that. And it was just marvelous to run down to the railroad, and the fireman or the engineer one would know that you were coming down. He'd see us kids standing by the railroad track, and he'd do one of those little things, or he'd puff out some steam. It was just a thrill.
He'd do a special one for you. He knew you were watching it. Yeah.
Always one. It'd always be there because we know the time was coming along. And that's a beautiful story about my home life there. It was a place where a train had to stop. It was owned by an Irish doctor, Dr. McGhee, and it was McGhee Station. It's still standing. That's where my father and my older parents, my grandparents were born. I went there and lived for 4 years. And that train station is still there. It's called McGhee Station. The train must stop there and pick up the mail. Had to blow. But now they have moved it through the years. They've moved it up just about 3 miles from there. It's called Von Orr, a little place you will find on some maps. Von Orr, Tennessee, in Monroe County. And I had the pleasure of going back to where my father was born and going to McGhee's Station.
Isn't there in the name Brownie McGhee? I suppose this school may go back itself to slavery days.
Oh, it does. It goes back.
The name of the man who owned
my people.
Yeah, owned your people.
And that's the way I finished. Well, that's how I got out of my high school, by tracing my name back, find out how come me a McGhee.
Yeah.
I didn't like Latin. So he said, you go and find out how come you're a McGhee. And come back, and I had to spend an extra year in school, and I did this. And I went out to where my people were born, and I run into some of the old people. Some of them lived to be 107.
Yeah.
104, 98.
You looked up the old family.
I went back as far as I could go, old family tree.
You know, there's little I can say. I want to listen to you. Just listen to you and to Sonny. So you just go ahead, whatever song.
Well, that's one phase of it, and the blues just keeps on following me. And I was writing all night last night. I don't never stop writing, because when I get off like I am now, you see, I can kind of finish up some of the things. I'm in a very lonely spot on the 12th floor, you know, and it's very
pretty well.
a little cubby room, and I sit up and I write all night, and I carry my notes along with me, and I finished up a few things that I started on maybe a few years ago, and that's what happens.
Yeah.
And I've been working on this song. I did a course of it too a while ago that I says the highway and the river and the railroad track, and from Tennessee to Broadway, and I did another one. I called him River, and a lot of people ask me why I called him
Sonny River.
And people always ask me the question, why you call him River? Well, through the years I searched through the encyclopedia. River has a lot of definitions, but the one I like with the river is something that goes on forever. Man may come and men may go, but rivers go on forever. And I consider that a friendship. After 31 years is a long time.
Is it 31 years that you've been together?
You've been together.
We'll be in April.
That's right.
Second week in April will be 31 years.
Long time, beautiful man.
Yeah, it occurs to me in watching, you know, not only hearing, but watching Sonny Terry, Brownie McGhee and Sonny Terry at work, you know what, you almost could tell the breath the other man's taking, the way you came with the guitar there, with the chords, you were playing the harmonica. It's just,
but to tell you, me Brownie did the thing so much, I tell him sometimes, but he know exactly what I'm going to do, and I know what he got to do.
What do you think?
Think that one can get away.
What do you think that, say, Brownie McGhee's going to do now? What do you think? What are you going to do now, Brownie? And see how Sonny picks up on it.
I don't even have to tell him.
You don't have to tell him. Well, just go ahead and see what happens.
As long as he's in his key, I don't care what he does.
That's what Brownie used to say. You say, whatever you do, just go ahead and do it.
One thing I like to do, after Brownie do this, the one where Billy would love to hear me sing, he wrote, Louise.
Louise.
Yeah, I like Alpha Brownie do
You
this.
always sing about women all the time.
Well, the best thing to sing about. Can't think about nothing no better.
Louise.
Well, we've taken that for our themes, and it's not a spiel either, because that seems to be the three things mostly in the blues, but there's other things to sing about. Whiskey, women, and money. Seems to be, but I use them as crutches. I don't say all blues singers, but I use them as crutches in order to get my point over, because they're the most important things in a man's life. If you've never dealt with those three, I don't think you've ever lived.
Of course, work too.
Well, work is involved. When a man puts forth an effort to sing about anything, that's why I'm saying work sometimes he exerts himself, but thinking he doesn't. That's why I think it's some other things to think about except whiskey, women, and money. Because there's work and then there's persecution and things of that kind, and that's the time I get it over. But you can't leave out those things.
No, that's
because those are the important things. Well, I've never had too much of either one of them. So and that's one way I stay out of politics. You know, it's easy.
Well, I had too much of one. That was liquor. Well, I had to quit that.
When you go to extremes on anything,
That one extreme.
I would point out that
I don't tell you how I come to quit that. I got a little sick, stuff. So the doctor told me, said, you drank a little too much, son. I said, cut down to 1 drink a day. I said, if I can cut down to one drink a day, I just quit.
Yeah,
that way I quit.
But Brownie said that's going to extremes.
Let's do Poor Boy, Long Way From Home, which was called the Charlie Blues.
Okay.
It was called a CHOLLY, Charlie. And we always called it Poor Boy, but it was did way before our time.
Yeah.
Got your covered.
That's no. You got you covered. You know what key I'm in.
He's got you covered before you even name the key.
Mistreat me, please don't do me wrong.
Woo! Go ahead.
Walked down a walk, feet got soaking wet. Hey, hey, hey. Walked down a walk, feet got soaking wet. Walked down a walk, feet got soaking wet. Looking for my woman, I ain't found her yet. They tell me the graveyard, mighty lonely place. People say the graveyard is mighty lonely place. Somebody tell me the graveyard is mighty lonely place. 6 feet in the ground, they'll throw dirt in your face. Woo! Ain't good looking, got no curly hair, Lord, Lord. Ain't good looking, ain't got no curly hair. People ain't good looking, ain't got no curly hair. My mama told me something, carry me anywhere. Poor old boy ain't been treated right, Lord, Lord. Poor old boy ain't been treated right, no, no. I'm a poor old boy, ain't been treated right. Freezing ground was my bed last night. Woo! Big bell ring, little bell fairly tone. Big bell ring, little bell fairly tone. Big bell ring, little bell fairly tone. I'm a poor old boy, long, long way from home. Poor old boy, got nowhere to go, Lord, Lord. Poor old boy, ain't got nowhere to go. No, no, I'm a poor old boy, ain't got nowhere to go. Please don't mistreat me, don't drive me from your door. Poor boy.
I guess that blues has to be called medicine. It has to.
Long ways from home.
Poor old one. You know, I'm thinking so many songs I'd love to hear you. I know you will be playing them and singing them at the quiet night. Of course, the Fox Hunt, that Sonny and Louise. And Norm Pellegrini, our program director, asked, he remembered when the original company, the original production of Cat on the Hot Tin Roof was in town. The year Bill died, 1958 it was. And do you remember the music you played as the background?
The background music we were doing, that was Pick a Bale of Cotton and John Henry. Sonny closed the second act, and we closed the second act, and I led the song and closed the show.
That's right, so you did that.
2 shows.
So we Pick a Bale of Cotton. That's also what you sang at the 59 festival. So Pick a Bale of Cotton was sort of set the mood and the background of the locale for
that was
Tennessee Williams' play.
Well, the first act was closed with a spiritual. 2 girls led the spiritual. And then the second act, Sonny closed, was with Pick a Bale of Cotton. And I did some lyrics to John Henry, which the curtain come down on, cool drink of water before I die. That was it.
See, we won't play no music in there, you know. We just singing, you know.
Just sang.
Yeah, we won't
without
play,
the background.
Won't know how long guitar.
There was a very funny story about that. We were playing music. I don't think it was a funny story. And just before we come to Philadelphia to open up, Marilyn Monroe come down to listen to that show, and we was playing guitar and harmonica back there.
Yeah.
And Liz wanted her to see what she thought about it. And a few more people there listening, stars. Says, well, there's nothing wrong with it, but who can listen to the lyrics with that wailing harmonica and the strumming guitar going on back there? So that takes away from the whole entire thing that's going on. So right then, Kazan says, can you fellas sing without your instruments? I said, I sure can. I just haven't had this long.
Well, if I could just challenge Kazan, how about doing it with the instruments?
Oh, fine. With either one? We'll do a little of each one. What do you say?
Do more.
What do you want to do that?
That's what you feel like.
What do you do? Pick a Bale.
I can do Pick a Bale anywhere. Can you do an E?
Anywhere.
I mean an F.
Anywhere, baby. Don't worry.
Which one you do the first?
We only play in 2 keys. That's high and low.
That's right. Well, we low it this time.
Don't respect me, just play.
I ain't gonna do it. Catch up if you can, dude. You got the left, buddy.
Well, on it, Bale of Cotton. Well, on it, Pick a Bale Day. Well, on it, Pick a Bale of Cotton. Well, on it, Pick a Bale Day. One jump down, turn around. Pick a Bale of Cotton. One jump down, turn around. Pick a Bale Day. One jump down, turn around. Pick a Bale of Cotton. One jump down, turn around. Pick a Bale Day. Wanna get on your knees. Pick a Bale of Cotton. Wanna get on your knees. Pick a Bale Day. Wanna look all around. Pick a Bale of Cotton. We wanna laugh like mad. Pick a Bale Day. We wanna jump down, turn around. Pick a Bale of Cotton. We wanna jump down, turn around. Pick a Bale Day. Well, on it. Pick a Bale of Cotton. Well, on it. Pick a Bale Day. Well, on it. Pick a Bale of Cotton. Well, on it. Pick a Bale Day. Well, me and my buddy gone. Pick a Bale of Cotton. Well, me and my buddy gone. Pick a Bale Day. Well, me and my buddy gone. Pick a Bale of Cotton. Well, me and my buddy gone. Pick a Bale Day. We wanna get on my knees. Pick a Bale of Cotton. Wanna get on my knees. Pick a Bale Day. We wanna look all around. Pick a Bale of Cotton. We wanna laugh like mad. Pick a Bale Day. We wanna jump down, turn around. Pick a Bale of Cotton. We wanna jump down, turn around. Pick a Bale Day. All right now. Pick a Bale of Cotton. Yeah. Pick a Bale Day. Whoa. Pick a Bale of Cotton. Yeah. Pick a Bale Day. Oh, Lordy. Pick a Bale of Cotton. Yeah. Whoa, Lordy. Pick a Bale Day. Whoa, Lordy. Pick a Bale of Cotton. Yeah. Whoa, Lordy. Pick a Bale Day. We wanna jump down, turn around. Pick a Bale of Cotton. Yeah. Pick a Bale Day. Wanna get on my knees. Pick a Bale of Cotton. Wanna get on my knees. Pick a Bale Day. We wanna look all around. Pick a Bale of Cotton. We wanna rap like mad. Pick a Bale Day. We wanna rap like mad. Pick a Bale Day. Wanna jump down, turn around. Pick a Bale of Cotton. Wanna jump down, turn around. Pick a Bale Day. We wanna pick a Bale of Cotton. We wanna pick a Bale Day. We wanna pick a Bale of Cotton. We wanna jump down, turn around. Woo! Pick a Bale Day. Woo!
Well, Kazan was wrong. It's great with the instruments. You know, I think that brings to mind another big man, doesn't it? Hughie Ledbetter.
Oh, God, yes.
Pick a Bale of Cotton. As Hughie, you know, he was such a strong man.
He was a solid rock.
Yeah,
solid rock.
right.
Yeah, he was a big rock. Yeah. We lived with him for about 2 years, you know, in New York.
I know he did.
Yeah, it was very, very beautiful 2 years.
So
there.
this is a matter of yourself extending, as you say, it's a song. The blues is really a story of not one man, but of all men, people. So it's Big Bill, Lead Belly, Leroy Carr. In beginnings too, when as young guys, you, Sonny, I know you worked the streets, to make a living, and Brownie worked medicine shows and picnics and everything. Right. In the beginning,
everything on the street. I played for medicine shows too,
You played medicine shows too.
Yeah.
How'd that work? You mean that people would come into the tent? Is that it?
No, it wasn't no tent stuck in those days. It was back of an old truck or wagon.
Old truck, anything, a wagon. Yeah. You get out there and play your music and draw the crowd, So he wait till you draw the crowd, then the guy get up and tell about his medicine.
Make his pitch.
You got the crowd up there,
One bottle of medicine cured anything you had. Toeache, heartache.
So it's the beginning then, playing out in the open. It was the open sound too. That's part of it too.
Well, a crowd would come in, whether you had harmonica, guitar, banjo, or washboard, anything to make a sound.
Yeah,
they would just come running.
I'm thinking of the songs and the sounds that you recreate too. In the case of Sonny, remember earlier I asked about that fox hunt. Did you ever hear the men hunting the fox?
Oh yeah, that's where I learned it from.
Yeah,
I learned it from that. For hearing the dogs, trail the fox, So when I was doing that hooping and anyhow, what you hear me do now, I said, well, God, I think this got fit right in,
Yeah.
So I made up me a song that's called The Fox Chase. You want to hear a little?
I sure would.
Same key already.
B flat.
Yeah. I had the E for John Henry, but I take.
Don't expose yourself to the public.
Watch out there. Now I got three dogs. How many you got?
I don't know tonight. I might turn them all loose. I got old Pete and Kate. That's the best two I got anyway.
But my three I'll run young. I know. So we got to see right now.
It's the original Fox. Say, Sonny, think we're gonna have a good chase tonight?
Oh yeah, man.
How many dogs you bring with you?
I told you I had three, man. They good one too.
I didn't bring but two, and that's old Pete and Kate. Pete's the fastest, but he's a little slow about striking trails. That's old Kate now, listen. Wonder what's the matter with old Pete. I haven't heard one of your dogs yet. Listen to them dog, listen. Listen.
Brownie, I got that little dog, He can't keep up with the big dog, but he let the big dog know he's back there. And he sound like this,
Listen, stop, listen. They're going down the river, going by the river bar. Listen. Doggone, he got away.
That's recreating a play, I think also we should point out that the audience has to see it to believe it too. Watching Sonny Terry in action and watching Brownie McGhee and he work together, and I suppose the reason I'm stressing this is that many of the generations now jump back every 5 years a generation, and many of the young kids who heard about blues or hear some new singer sing the blues thinks it began with him, and they don't know how it began. And the sense to show how it began.
Well, that's just true too, and we have a thing that we have to stress, because now this day we've been through, let me see, how many decades? We've been through at least 10 changes. We've seen our music change at least 10 times. But there are singers of the blues, and there are blues singers, and there are singers of folk songs, and there are folk singers, and there are singers of spirituals, and there are spiritual singers. And we can count them, we can pick them out, but we're not critics. But there's a differentiation between them. A blues singer is a guy that's lived with it. A singer of the blues, a guy just learned it from a record just because he wants to make some money. And that's the same thing that goes with folk songs. A guy that's lived his environment, dealt with his environment, they're not ashamed to tell it. He is a folk singer. He's not a singer of folk songs. He creates them because he tells it like it is. That's the rudiments of it. In the same way with the spiritual. If a guy believes in a hereafter, there is a better world after this, he sings to that effect and he lives to that. And the spirituals grow with him as the blues has grown with me. And folk songs, same thing. You can't get them out of your system because you know your environment better than anybody, and you live with it. You have lived with it, and you can live with it. And your past has been bad, but not bad enough to make you want to forget. That's mine.
You know, as Brownie is talking, you know, he talks quite obvious truth and history. You mentioned spirituals. And I know both of you were powered on with the blues because the connection is there, of course. Church music, spirituals. Of course, there's one, you know, Pete Seeger says the greatest song he's ever heard. He's, of course, both of you singing. He heard you singing, of course. He's referring to 12 Gates to the City, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's what he's referring to, you know.
Yeah, I think he got.
Yeah.
I think he did come from New York singing that.
Yeah, that's right. Sure did.
12 Gates to the City and Go Where I Send Thee. That's right.
That's right.
Suppose, what do you think?
We used to do that, you know. I learned it to him one.
I know you did.
Yeah.
Do a little bit of that, Hall.
Yeah.
Put
12 Gates.
12 Gates. Yeah.
What a beautiful city. Oh, what a beautiful city gone. Oh. Well, gate to the city. Hallelujah. Amen. Oh, Lord, a good God. Oh, what a beautiful city now. What a beautiful city gone. Oh. Well, gate to the city. Hallelujah. Amen. There's a sweet gas in the east, well, sweet gas in the north, well, sweet gas in the south, well, sweet gas in the west, which it make 12 Gates to the city. Hallelujah, amen. Oh Lord, good God, what a beautiful city now. Hallelujah, amen. Lord, wanna make it to the city. Oh, I wanna make it to the city, God knows. 12 Gates to the city. Hallelujah, amen. When they look for me in the east, they look for me in the west, they look for me in the north, look for me in the south. I was somewhere in that city. Hallelujah, amen. Whoa, Lord, what a beautiful city. Whoa, what a beautiful city, God knows. 12 Gates to the city. Hallelujah, amen.
Beautiful city, you make it sound like heaven. I remember in conjunction with that, as Sonny was singing 12 Gates to the City and Brownie, I remember you were singing Welcome Table. Remember that? Welcome Table? You do a verse in that before, I think, the hour end before, we have to end with the big man, John Henry. That's John, the symbol of all that strength.
I'm gonna feast at the welcome table. Yes, well, I'm gonna feast at the welcome table. Some of these days, hallelujah, I'm gonna feast at the welcome table. Feast at the welcome table some of these days. I'm gonna tell God how you treat me. Yes, I'm gonna tell God how you treat me some of these days. Hallelujah, I'm gonna tell God how you treat me. Tell God how you treat me some of these days. I'm gonna walk those streets in glory, Lord. I'm gonna walk those streets in glory some of these days. Hallelujah, I'm gonna walk those streets in glory. Walk those streets in glory some of these days.
Well, sing it then.
I'm down to the river of Jordan. Well, I'm going down to the river of Jordan some of these days. Hallelujah, I'm going down to the river of Jordan. Down to the river of Jordan some of these days.
Just listening to Brownie McGhee and Sonny Terry, two authentic, that's a much overused word, but here very applicable, authentic artists. You know, we can't end. The song to end has to be John Henry, doesn't it? Because I guess, how would you, there are many interpretations, but they think of all the strength of this man who beat the machine down, didn't
I
he?
believe he lived. That's why I love it so much.
Yeah.
And that's one of our feature numbers because, you know, if you believe a thing, I went to the tunnel. They say he built.
You went to that tunnel?
I went to the Big Ben.
Yeah, the Big Ben Tunnel, West Virginia.
That's right. Saw it with my own eyes. And it really, you know, my father said the man lived, and my daddy died. He just died in 68. And he told me, and I believed him too, because everything he said to me that I didn't believe, I went out in the world and seek to find it was true. Train running in the air right here, I didn't believe it. But there was an L in the air here. And he didn't explain to me what it meant, was a train running in there, and I was a kid.
Yeah.
He said, there's a train running in there in Chicago, son. You've never seen anything. And you can ride a train under the ground, under the river. I said, for Christ's sake, what you kept telling me? I'm not crazy. Later years, I experienced it to be true, but he didn't tell me that the man had built an elevated train, and that man had dug a tunnel. I was only thinking one way. I had a one-track mind. The train I seen on the track running in the air, I might have a heart attack, but it's true.
The train in the air and the train underground. And the idea is men like John Henry.
That's the thing. That's what I'm speaking of.
You know, that's what it's all about.
That's what it makes me. Now I know it was true.
So we pay tribute to the whole people, and Brownie McGhee and Sonny Terry and John Henry.
John Henry.
That's still gonna be the death of me. Well, that's still gonna be the death of me. Well, that's still gonna be the death of me. Well, that's still gonna be the death of me. John Henry had a little bitty woman. Her name was Polly Ann. John Henry got sick, then he had to go to bed. Oh, Polly Ann, she drove still like a man. Well, oh, Polly Ann, she drove still like a man. Well, oh, Polly Ann, she drove still like a man. Well, oh, Polly Ann, she drove still like a man. Oh, Polly blew like this, you know. Captain, he said to John Henry, bring my steam drill around. Bring my steam drill out on the job. Woo! Knock that steel on down. Whoa, boy, knock that steel on down. I'm gonna pop that steel on down. Oh, yes, pop that steel on down. John Henry, you look like the captain. Said a man ain't nothing but a man. Or I wouldn't let your steam drill beat me down. Die with this hammer in my hand. Oh boy, die with this hammer in my hand. He says I'll die with this hammer, oh Lord. Die with this hammer in my hand. Catch John Henry on a mountain. Oh, that mountain was so high. All right now. Last words I heard that poor boy say, just give me a cool drink of water before I die, Lord. Give me a cool drink of water before I die. Just give me a cool drink of water before I die. I heard him say, just give me a cool drink of water before I die. Just give me a cool drink of water before I die. Give me a cool drink of water before I die. Just give me a cool drink of water before I die. Just give me a cool drink of water before I die. Just give me a cool drink waterfall.
Wow. John Henry lives, Big Bill lives, Hughie Ledbetter lives, and all the anonymous singers of blues live thanks to the bears of history with us this morning. Brownie McGhee and Sonny Terry. Two artists.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Seemed like yesterday.
Thank you very much. It is 953 Belmont, a quiet night. Gentlemen, like yesterday and like tomorrow, too.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.